Siddharth, what do you make of this? Mr. Garg essentially saying that, look, India has to stand its ground now. This is an attempt by Trump to kind of dictate the terms and conditions of the trade deal and the talks of that which are continuing. And India has to make it clear that we will not budge just because you've threatened us with a 25% tariff.
Absolutely. And, just step back for a moment, Akshita, and look at what was playing out on our screens just a little while ago. A facet of a fantastic cooperation between the US and the India in
It's true, yeah.
space. So very clearly, the India-US relationship is not predicated only on a trade deal. Let's also be very clear and not to be too alarmistic. It's clear that our relationship with the United States is a multifaceted relationship. And we also have significant amounts of leverage. I come back to that point that I made earlier. Forget some items, electrical machinery, steel, autos, petroleum exports. What about the billions and billions and billions of dollars that the average Indian generates every day across social media platforms for US companies? We also have significant leverage, and let's not for a moment assume that if it is going to go to a trade war, and I am not saying that it will, India doesn't have leverage. That said, I believe while an attempt to sort of arrive at a deal will be made, it's very clear some of the red lines that we have cannot be crossed by any administration. And I think it's also been short-sighted and quite negative in terms of some of the opposition commentary, which took matters beyond a point in order to win political points back home in India, to cast a very public kind of question mark on a very sensitive relationship, strategic relationship with the United States. But I feel that our establishment will be able to delineate between trade ties and the existing ties that we have in the strategic and security sphere with the United States. Because remember, for the United States, China is not going away anytime soon. And China is its single biggest threat. India is its single biggest friend. It's up to Trump. He needs to make up his mind.
So he can attempt all the pressure tactics that he wants. China's not going anywhere. That threat still looms large over America, over Trump, and that's something India knows as well. So as much as they attempt to go ahead and announce a 25% tariff plus penalties to drive the trade deal in the way they want to, India, in all likelihood, will not allow that to happen. But the news break we're also putting out right now, and this is exactly the short-term impact that Siddharth was referring to, which is that there are exporters who are getting the jitters, seeing the news that's come in of a 25% tariff, afraid now that their profits margins will take a hit. We understand that orders, particularly of pharma, textiles, leather, is being called off, being put on hold because of the level of uncertainty right now over what's going to happen next as well. Let's be very clear here that this doesn't mean in any way some sort of a major conflict or a trade war. This is something that definitely the Indian government would have kept in mind, that this is a possibility. They'd have a contingency in place for if Trump went ahead with this kind of an announcement, because this isn't a surprise. Trump has used this exact same tactic on other countries as well. So with the trade deal not really going in the direction perhaps that they wanted, he's gone ahead and made this announcement. So there is some sort of fear, some level of jitters, which is anticipated, expected, but the hope is that the impact will be short term, because in a few weeks from now, you will once again see that conversation taking place between India and America, slated to happen on August 25th. That still will continue. And we're expecting that there will be a reaction from the Indian government in a few hours from now. We already know that the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, has met with the Commerce Minister, Piyush Goyal, who has in previous communications also indicated that, look, while talks are underway, there is a dialogue between India and America. You can never really say with Donald Trump. They didn't put in as many words, but the messaging was very, very clear from the government. They're fully ready for any eventuality, for any communication that comes in. But this is again, in clear Donald Trump style, an announcement that came out of the blue, in the sense that Donald Trump has taken to social media to announce it in a detailed post where he spoke about how India is a great friend, and that's how he started off the post. He then went into great detail about India's ties with Russia. To him, it was clearly the biggest issue, because not just does he speak of a 25% tariff, he speaks of penalties on India for ties with Russia.